Welcome to Cat the Minion YouTube channel. This is going to be a relationship / romantically inclined reading for August 28th through September 27th. I've got my fan on because it's moist and warm, and I turned the AC off so we wouldn't have to listen to it, so it's blowing my stuff around. I'm going to put these over here, try to use myself as a shield. So the yin-yang relationship check-in reading, so we're not going to cooperate. Turn it down a notch. It uses 2 decks, so I've already cleared and shuffled the Aquarian Tarot. These ones are kind of bent. And I've already cleared and shuffled the Morgan Greer Tarot. So I'm just going to do a little bit more here. Let's try to get them bent the other way. Come on. Be difficult. The way that this reading works is that there's 3 cards over here, and then I'm going to put the bottom of the deck over here, and then 3 cards from this deck here, and then the bottom of the deck over here. So it'll be kind of like a highly, like an 8-bit yin-yang situation. Just get this one more good shuffle here. Nope. Bit more for this guy. Now, I've also decided to pull some Scrabble tiles. I haven't changed it on my little WordPress website yet. I think I changed it down in the description underneath the video. You can add Scrabble tiles to any reading for $7, and or you could add charms to any reading for $7. Or you could add both for $14 to end on top of any other reading. You can also have a video call reading for an extra $35 because it has to be scheduled. And then I have to like try to record it and post it later. So it takes extra time. So I'm gonna get some of the tiles, and we'll get kind of a working overview of what's going on in terms of duality, polarity, relationship push and pull. Now, this is for whatever relationship you're dealing with. This reading is supposed to be sort of skewed more romantically. But if it comes out as a business relationship or a familial relationship, then so be it. This is like an off. There's usually about 5 weeks a month, so this is the off week to the elementals. So I've just switched from astrological check-ins to, what do I call it? Elemental focal readings, ELF for short. So it's more or less the same information, it's just by element group, like fire, air, earth, and water. I do want to take a second before I start, or while I'm laying out the cards. I've been forgetting to thank people for liking and sharing and subscribing lately. I've noticed my number of subscribers has started ticking up, and when I see like the number increasing every time, I'm like, oh, thank you, and then I forget to talk about it in the videos, and I've written it down a few times. So I'm making it a point, at least in my next little series of Vijas here, to actually thank people for hanging out with me. I've noticed that I had to scroll very far down to find any videos with less than 1,000 views. So the fact that anybody's actually seeing my content at all is actually a minor miracle, because the algorithm wants to bury you and then make you pay for subscribers and likes, which I don't agree with. I don't think that's right. So thank you to all the people that are in the grassroots here with me, because I'm not gonna pay people to hang out with me. It's never something that appealed to me. I'll shake these up a little bit more. It's kind of a lot, but we'll get what we need. Get what you need. Jet. Okay, how's my focus? Can barely see where I'm at. Because these middle stacks are kind of tall, I'm going to flip them over and then I'm going to pull the bottom card out. So we're taking this card and we're taking this card. So do I want to flip over the whole thing? I might. So typically in a relationship, one person is exhibiting more masculine or more feminine energy, if I could talk, at any given point. Sometimes you alternate over the course of many years. Sometimes it's more of a rapid cycle. It could be just for the duration of the reading and then the energy form collapses. Everybody has both, so it just depends on which one you're working on at the moment. Somebody might be, you know, the masculine for the duration of this lifetime or the duration of the relationship, and the other one would be the feminine. Totally separate from whatever's going on with the physical body. It's just two different flavors of energy, like a positive pole and a negative pole, hot and cold, you know, squishy and crunchy, and so on, dark and light. So let's look at these tiles here. I have E. Is that in? Okay, E. And U. Might be talking about the European Union here, or something that feels like that. So I have an N here, and I really feel like it's trying to say emu, but it's not spelt right. And then I have an O. I could also be looking at uno, or the word one. Like one is the loneliest number. Actually, let me do this way. That looks better. Or, hang on. There we go. Now it's spelled. Okay. So, I mean, uno and one are the same thing in two different languages. So we could have a bilingual relationship here, right? English might not be somebody's first language, or it could be like we're not on the same page, we're not speaking the same jargon. And I feel like that came up in some of the stuff I was getting recently, where it's like, are we even speaking the same language here? So these tiles are all inverted. So let's see what we've got. I've got F, the number 4 attached to it. It makes me think of 4 of fire, like 4 of wands. Put that over here. I have I, so I mean already it looks like it's spelling fire. I have N, possibly fine. Makes me think of the Aerosmith song F-I-N-E, Fine, on the Pump album. We have R, so we're like fine or fire. Or fur. And then we have V, which is also a 4. So I see Vin, which makes me think of the chariot, like a car. Or 5. Like the 5 of wands, the 4 of wands, fire. But I don't think those letters really need to stay inverted. But I do have 2 4s here. And I also see neuron, which is brain cells. 5 neuron. So possibly the 5 of swords here, because that represents thoughts. Thoughts and perceptions. So 5 of swords is mind games. But I also see this sort of juxtaposition of like 4.5 wands. Like we're trying to build a foundation, but there's too much conflict. It's like we're not speaking this, we're not on the same page, we don't have the same ideas. And it's like somebody's trying to, it's almost like somebody's trying to force their idea onto somebody else. Like, can you get it in your head? What I'm trying to tell you. It's like, what is that? Was that one of those Shanghai Noon movies there? It's like Owen Wilson and Jackie Chan. It's like, do you understand? Oh wait, no, it was what was the one with Chris Rock? Chris Rock and Jackie Chan, and he's like, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? That's the energy that this feels like. Like, can you get it through your head? I also see vie, like vying for attention. Vying for the top spot of who's winning the argument. I also see 4. So I have 4 and 5 here sticking out. 4 and 5. Again, it's like on and in 4 and 5, but also no. Like non, like French, which is also a different language. Or non, something that's like non-incentive, non-inventive, non-communicative, uncommunicative, nonplussed. I also really feel like that wants to say flower. Never, but not quite. And I'm also seeing it's like not quite a novel idea. There's like something that's not quite, something's not quite fresh here. It's like a stale idea, nonplussed, no. Like in, I also see NIN, like 9 Inch Nails, and just this idea of like, it's gonna be this like industrial gothic kind of energy. I also see like I want to, it's like I feel like I want to write ravine, but there's no A. You know, it's like there's a slight gap on being able to change the circumstances into, to bridge the gap, right? There's no A to bridge the gap. What is A? A is like an ace. And then I have FON as in like found, but I haven't quite found the last piece of the puzzle. So there's this kind of roiling energy between 4 and 5 of wands and the 5 of swords, and being able to not quite being able to shift across this barrier between like, why aren't you understanding me? Like, are you so thick-headed? Like, do you like, why, like, am I speaking English? Like, what aren't you getting? I also see vine as in, you know, like Tarzan on the vine. swinging in to get some help. So let me flip over these cards before this gets any longer. So usually when this is one person, and then there's a crossover where there's traits that are going on. This is the might be the standoff here, and then this would be the other person. So you might know who you are. This is the Aquarian Tarot. So whoever has the most Aquarius in their charts or is an air sign might be up over here. And then this is the Morgan Greer Tarot, which to me feels a little bit more earthy. It's got that both of these have kind of a 70s vibe to them, but it tends to, it might, if someone's more earthy, it might be, that might be more you. But it doesn't have to be. Because all I see over here is stars, and all I see over here is water, so it doesn't, this could be air and this could be water. It doesn't matter. We're going to be looking at the cards. So let me flip these over. So this person over here, we have the Hermit inverted, which is 9. Which is interesting because the crossover here is the 9 of Cups, which is also inverted. So we see that whatever this person is dealing with, what's filtering through is a lower vibration in a different 9. This is Virgo energy. Mercurial. The 9 of Cups is Jupiter in Pisces, but it's inverted. So we might be dealing with that with retrogrades. Jupiter retrograding in Aquarius and Neptune retrograding in Pisces. Mercury is also going to be retrograde, I believe, during this period. Let me check my notes. September. Oh, Mercury's going retrograde on the 27th. Literally the day that this reading technically ends for. I mean, it's timeless, but the fact that Mercury's going to retrograde before, like the last straw, basically. It's a little closer so I can kind of see what I'm doing when I look through the thing. Oh, and the battery's going too. I should change the battery before I get too far. Alright. So this is Temperance inverted. That's 14. That's that 4. But then it breaks down to 5. Sagittarius energy, so that's also retrograde Jupiter. But it's also fire. And we did have fire coming through in there. Alright, so let's look at this one. The Two of Wands. Okay, so there's more fire energy here, but the Two of Wands is like a choice, like a decision. You know, it's like I'm going out traveling and I'm meeting somebody on my way and we're having a conversation. Like, what's in my crystal ball? Like, are you selling me a load of crap? You know, is this something that's like, or is this something worthwhile, or does it amount to a hill of beans? So I have 2 here, 9. This could be like 911, like an emergency. And then I've got a 14 here, and then the crossover energy is the Wheel of Fortune, which is a 10. So I have that 4 energy that carries over, plus 10 is the 14. But notice that I have this 10 right between 2 9s. It's like this 9 energy wants to complete. This Wheel of Fortune is also Jupiter energy, fire, but it's upright. 2 snakes, the Kundalini. There's a lot of fire energy here. I mean, this is technically Earth, because Virgo is Earth energy. But it's airy Earth, it's mercurial. I want to see what's going on this side, because I want to know why that Wheel of Fortune is crossing over. So we have the Moon, secrets, secretions, fears. We also are coming off of as this reading starts for on August 28th, we're not that far from the second Aquarian full moon. This moon is not full though, right? We're several days out from it. But there's still this idea of the moon. Now, the full moon in September, during this period of August 28th through September 27th, the full moon in September is on the 20th in Pisces. We have this Piscean energy here right next to it. What's this guy? What's this guy right here? The Three of Swords. Okay, so there's some of those swords. I was getting 5 of Swords. I was not getting 3 of Swords. I was not getting 4 of Swords because there was a 5 or a 4 here. I was seeing 5 Wands, 5 Swords, but I was not seeing... I was seeing 5 Wands, I was seeing 5 Swords. I was seeing 4 Wands, but I was not also seeing 4 Swords. But I see 3 here, which is this sort of pain and suffering. This card, Nine of Cups inverted, is like unhappiness and depression. And the moon is like fears and secrets. And the moon sitting on top of the pain, but looking away from what the depression is sort of telling. And I see the Hermit looking away, but the Hermit is kind of looking towards this kid here. Like this hand, so almost orange, with something that's sort of a glowing ball, like-ish, with a staff of their own. It's almost like this Hermit energy is talking to this person's, like more, this looks like a page here almost. Where it's like I'm talking to my younger self or something like that. I hate it when people say or something like that, but I'm not fully into the reading yet. 7 of Wands inverted. Okay, so more fire energy. This time we have a 7. I have a 7 and a 3 here. That's 10. That's this Wheel of Fortune that's creeping over. 7 of Swords. 7 of Rods. 7 of Wands inverted. We got a couple of berets here. Notice how I said no. Like N-O-N, French, and you think berets, French. Doesn't have to be, though. It's just style. 7 of Wands, 7 of Rods, 7 of Fire here. The energy when it's inverted is sort of like I give up. It's like I'm letting down my guard, I'm letting people in. But it's only from depression and pain and sort of the moon is dragging this whole thing towards it. Like everything's following the moon. So two full moons in Aquarius followed by this full moon in Pisces is sort of dragging through the subconscious, dragging through the nightmares. Like, what are you suppressing? What are you unhappy? What are you not letting people into? This guy is the gatekeeper. Like, it's even pink behind him. He's the gatekeeper. Is like, you're not getting in here to my wounded heart. No effing way. But these together are a completion. It's 10. It's that Wands and Swords kind of tug of war that was going on at the beginning. And this reason that's sort of tied to the other person is 9 of Cups inverted depression. 9 of Cups is a half moon card sitting right next to the moon. This is like half the battle here. Like, knowing is half the battle. And even the Hermit is like half of a moon because it's 9. Especially in the major arcana, but here it's inverted. The moon is like, I'm illuminating the secrets, the fears, the deepest fears, your nightmares. The sort of butterflies in your tummy. That's what the moon holds. Not like the I love butterflies, but like the panic butterflies. Like the ravenous moths in your belly. It's the moon. This card, the 9 of Cups inverted, is kind of like the 9 of Swords upright. Oh, this is wrong. This goes this way. It turns it's like a dream that's turned into a nightmare. But it's not necessarily anxiety, it's depression in this state. Emotional unfulfillment. But it's also this like I'm almost done being sad energy. This Wheel of Fortune is like things are starting to go in your favor though. But there's not a lot of balance. Like I'm unbalanced. Like what am I supposed to do to make a decision to trust people? But I'm taking my chances. I'm taking my chances. And it feels like I'm trying to gain like footing, but it's based on this interior. But the Hermit inverted is like I'm coming out. Like I'm coming out of my shell. Which is also because the Wheel of Fortune can be movement. There's a completion here. But I'm not quite sure what Temperance is doing here in terms of being unbalanced. This to me looks like I'm finally letting somebody in. This to me looks like I'm coming out of my shell. It's really similar, but it's kind of opposite. Right? It's like emotionally unavailable, and this is like nobody can read you. Right? It might be somebody who's like more outgoing, but they seem a little bit unhinged. And they might be sort of like warm and interactive with people, but there's this sort of disturbance between their goals and their emotional state. And this is like I'm sad because I'm not letting anybody in, but I'm not letting I'm also not dealing with the pain of what caused that. So I want to get some more information on what Temperance is doing. So let me go in here. Let me get just Temperance. Looks like it says GD. It's like God, but also God damn it. 2 and 2 also too. That's like doubling down on something. And we have you. Good, but also dug. Like I've dug myself into a hole. Let me get another card for that too. I'm trying to clear up what Temperance is meaning here. I'm just kind of taking this reading as long as it wants to go, because this is like a month-long reading and it's not wrapping up very nicely. So there's the Four of Swords. I said there wasn't the Four of Swords, and it's the Four of Swords inverted. This is also like a waking up, like a coming out, like I'm reviving from my nap, but it's still not explaining why the imbalance. I had a card chuck out and land under the camera. So we have the Fool inverted. Okay, so the Fool inverted is... The Fool is Uranus energy, which is that retrograde in Taurus? I think it's retrograde. Yeah, it's a retrograding in Taurus again. And then those 2 planets that are retrograding in Aquarius, which rules that. It's like it's like a rubber band being stretched back in time, which is where the inner child, that Virgo energy is. So this lack of balance might be talking about a prior time, and it's like I'm woke now. I've slept on it. I've dug deep already, because it's not dig, it's dug. It's past tense. I've dug into my issues, and I'm not gonna take a flying leap right now, but there's this idea of, like, I'm willing to communicate here. I choose to interact. But this crystal ball here, it's sort of like this card wants to be the High Priestess. High Priestess is major arcana too. But I also see it as a low vibration of 6, which is the Lovers, because that's always a choice too, but it can also be healing. So for me, this is like, I'm starting to heal from my past. I'm not going to let past traumas keep me from interacting with people, but I really want to work on my intuition more, because I don't feel like you know, going out and trusting people with this reckless abandon. But they still have this Wheel of Fortune here. It's like I can't, like, my luck has to be better than it's been before, because everything before was like, you know, completely out of whack, right? Like, maybe my tires are finally aligned, my wheel is gonna turn properly, I've greased the gears. You got some WD-40 in there. And I want to, what do I want to clarify for this side? I think the moon needs to be clarified a little bit more. Like, what is the extraction of the pain? I feel like the moon and the 7 of rods are somewhat critical here. Now, I do have 9 and 7, which is 16, which is a tower, but it's an inverted tower. So it's kind of like a slow burn. So I think what I want to do is address the invisible tower on this side. What is this person's tower moment that's happening in this? It can be internal, but it can also be like a dream state, because the tower inverted is basically the same. It's just got less oomph to it. Again, like a slow burn, like a controlled demolition versus it exploded. I want a third card for this. This reading is only supposed to have 8 cards, but I really want to, without like a specific question. Do I want to take that? No, I think I want this one. Okay. And I'm going to get a few more tiles for this too, because I want to see what this hidden tower is about. I see toe, T-O-E. Like, I gotta toe the line. I have a G here also. That's weird. And then an I. I wanted to say like something T-I-N-G. But it has to have these letters in it, so let me figure this out. Like a toy, like a toiga. It's weird. Oh, ego. And the word it. Oh, okay, I see how it's supposed to read now. Okay. Tie and ego. Okay. So this pain and this barred doorway here that's being reversed has to do with the ego sort of tying things off. We have this strength card inverted, which is 8 in this deck. I thought it was the Emperor at first, but it's not its strength, it's 8. That's Leo energy, and it's coming in inverted. But I also, Leo's ruled by the sun, and a sun card inverted tells me the moon energy again. But it's also half of the tower, right? 8 is half of 16. So this strength card here is like weakness, but the ego sort of, I see this as working together. 8 and 17 is the devil energy that's being bound. But this idea of I feel like I'm strong because I am standing my ground, I'm not letting anybody in. But this tower that's sort of tying off the ego, like the ego has tied me down, that kind of thing. Sort of finding how weak those ties really are. It's a little bit like the 8 of Swords. This strength card is giving me 8 of Swords energy. Like, I want to break free. I could break through those ties the whole time. Let me get the 8 of Swords out of this deck, see if I can find it real quick. My 10? That's a 10. I want the 10. Sure, that's really great to listen to while I flip through all these friggin' cards. Give me the 8 of Swords. I want the 8 of Swords. It's not the card I'm looking for. I remember what it even looks like. There it is. Okay. This is the energy. This strength inverted here in conjunction with this 7 of rods is giving me the 8 that this energy gives me. Right? These ties, the ego has you tied up, but these ties are very weak, inverted strength. And you don't actually need the sword to cut it. You can just kind of flap your arms around and it'll break. Like it's made out of like marzipan or something like that. Like really thin candy, like dried frosting. It's just sugar. You can break through it. So let me stick this over here. I'll just put that here anyway. That's a big part of the reading. Get the rest of these cards away. So we have the Empress here. This is feminine energy. We have Venus here. Who rules Taurus and Libra. Let me see what Venus is doing. I think Venus just went into Libra. And Venus continues to be in Libra until the 9th of September. And then goes into Virgo. So there's kind of like an emotional equilibrium here that could end up moving into a review of this person's inner child, but it's not explicit because there could be like this person did it first and maybe this person's on their way there. But this Moon and 7 of Rods situation is indicating that this tower has something to do with the Empress. So there could be it could be a mother issue. Right? Somebody's encountered a distorted feminine, and then they've suddenly realized through all this that there was a distortion, and now they understand what an aligned feminine energy is. And that doesn't matter whether you're masculine or feminine. Look how much this matches. I feel like this mottled purple stuff here and this pinky color here go together. And this other card that goes with this is the Three of Pentacles. So I have Three of Swords, 3, the Empress 3, and 3 of Pentacles, which is also 3. This is giving me another 9, which is 9 and 9 and 9. 3 of Pentacles is like rebuilding something, which would make sense right after a Tower moment. But it's happening like on the down low. Right? It's not the Star. It's not that kind of rebuilding. It's like I'm building my life up piece by piece. And the columns look like they're made out of this Empress energy. Right? She's got the cornerstone here. And we're building up like the understanding of the world of how things are going to look with aligned feminine energy. And this person doesn't have to be a feminine. It could be a masculine who had some kind of distortion with their mother. It could be a feminine who had a distortion with their mother or in their own energy. It doesn't really matter. It's because most people have encountered distorted feminine energy, and it's sort of presented to us in society of a pattern to be distorted with merchandise, TV shows, and everything like that. It's like in the same way that we don't really know what an aligned masculine looks like, because usually they're ridiculed in public. But we're looking at like, oh my god, the secret sauce here, what's like been missing, the missing piece here is what aligned feminine energy looks like. And it's been this sort of pain and nightmare that this person's been dealing with, that sort of kept them from letting people in because it hurt 3 directly related to the other 3. This wounding, it's like, where's my mom? Like, are you my mom? But not necessarily. It's just this, it could even be disconnected from Earth. Like, I'm disconnected from the Earth Mother, from that, like, vibration, right? It could be I'm not grounded. But we see 3 of Pentacles here. Not only is that Earth, we have Mars in Capricorn. And Martian energy in alignment is staying in one place and then sort of spreading fire energy outwards like a branch on a plant, right? So it's like I'm unfurling this grounded energy where I'm no longer bound up. Because Capricorn is the devil. It's not necessarily evil. It just means there could be a binding here. But in order to, like, I need these to stick together. And I'm going to expand it. Because the world is also Saturnian energy, which is Capricorn. So this 3 of Pentacles is like a minor arcana of the world, which is 21, which breaks down to 3. Right? I'm rebuilding my world view because I've just figured out the key element here. And this liberation is where, okay, I've spruced up the place. I'm sprucing up the place so I can let people in. Right? This is like, oh, you, like, no, you can't come in here. Like, my place is a mess. Like, look at all these weeds and shit here. You can't, like, don't come in here. It's like I'm not decent. This person over here doesn't seem fully resolved yet. It's almost like they're like Sir not appearing in this film. But they've got their own thing going on. It's like this Temperance inverted is like every time I turn around, like everything sucks. And I've got to stop dwelling on this like bad things that have happened in the past that make me feel like I can't set out again. And again, it's like I'm not taking a flying leap into the unknown. I'm just sort of like really trying to gain some kind of basic connection to my intuition and to make sure I trust it even in these sort of small encounters. And it's basically opening up the entire wheel of fortune to them. You know, like I've dug into my pockets and found my mojo. You know, it's like, do you feel lucky? Maybe. I hope so. And this person is like, you know, I picked up like you can come next week. Like, I'll let you in next week kind of energy. So they're like, whoever is in this relationship, there's two separate things going on, and that might be why there's been a difficulty in communication. Let me see what we've got here. Oh, I've got duvet, but I don't know how relevant that's going to be. Now I can write going. Going. But I also now have tongue, so we can actually speak to somebody else. I also feel like I might have... I don't have an L, but I might have enough... Do I have an R? I do have an R. If I move this, I can write future. But I also have dive. Diver. Holy diver. Soul survivor. Yeah, but I have future. I also see video. Video. Something that's ongoing. Video, like, might be like a Zoom call or something like that, but something that's going to be ongoing for the future. But I also had tongue there, and whatever the other word was that I saw that I deleted already. I'm seeing the word ding, like ringing a bell. I think there's one more word that I'm supposed to find. Hold on. Fugue. Like a musical composition. So with video and fugue and ding, like a bell, there does seem to be some kind of background that might have to do with music or videos of some sort. But I mean, most videos that people put up do have some kind of music on them. Whether it's a music video, like in total, or something else. Rune. So some kind of cryptic message. Again, a language that's not well understood. So see Dove, which could do with peace or the Lovers card, but it might not be like it doesn't have to be like the lovers coming together. It could be the healing. I also see fudging. Like trying to make it work if it doesn't. Like cooking the books in some way. So let's see, rove, like wanting to be a rover, but it's not quite there. To like rove far and wide, like a long distance kind of thing. Again, going in with that zoom. There might have to be, I mean, the video and the music might have to do with, like, the dinging might have to be somebody texting you and it's like making a sound, and then a Zoom meeting, and then somebody's like, hey, I want to play you this song. But also, rove is like traveling the world, but it's not coming out clearly. I also see fun, like maybe haven't had fun in a long time. I also see dodge. I don't think I have another D, but it's like I'm trying to dodge a bullet. I also see Doge too, like Dogecoin, which is a cryptocurrency. So there is some aspect of this that's sort of cryptic still. See Queen song, Fun It. Roving. There we go. Roving reporter. I just heard unit. Like an absolute unit. Like something big. Also, F you. And you. F-O. So, I mean, I could keep going with this. But there's a general idea that it's like if you proceed with caution and you just sort of open up a dialogue with somebody, you know, you don't have to be up in their face. It could start out as like, well, let's just talk to each other. We don't have to like go all like, nobody has to fly to see the other person if we're far away. Let's see if we have some common ground to meet in. It's not that necessarily that these people are a bad couple or a good couple. It's that there's a kind of a misunderstanding involved in that they're working on different shadow aspects at the same time that are kind of in conflict. You know, it's like you want to be able to trust somebody because you had a bad experience, and this person is like, you can't, like, you really don't want to come in here, like, light a candle, it's bad. And then it's like, well, I'm not gonna buy your crap if you're not even gonna tell me what's going on. And this person is like, but I'm wounded, like, I'm the victim here, and you're like, man, this always happens to me, I have such bad luck. And then it's just this kind of like roiling argument over I also see UV, like ultraviolet, like the sun. I also see like like vintage. Or like wine. Like a vintner. Now, it might not necessarily be somebody who's out there stepping on the grapes themselves. It might be it might be like a wordplay, like someone who's always whining about something. You're like, oh, that guy's a vintner over here, fucking whine every day. Like the boy who cried wolf kind of energy, like vintner of what? Vintner of doubt, maybe. Vintner of doggy. Whatever that means. You and you. Oh, this looks like magnets. Magnets. It's like a weird imprint on my leg. No, I'm just really confused by that. I forgot where I left off. I just got totally derailed by that whole situation. It's people that are having a hard time communicating. It's like, you know, if you go through this standard, like, I'm a twin flame and I'm in separation, this would be the reason for separation. Working on different emotional problems that are non-compatible. If you wanted a relationship with somebody and things have fallen through the cracks, this might be why. There's no instructions that say you have to go chasing that person. It's sort of an understanding of, your luck isn't as bad as you thought. Maybe you should step out with caution, trust your intuition. If your intuition is like, this guy's full of shit, then maybe, don't show him your butt. Or don't show her your butt. That kind of thing. Don't start shopping for picket fences and, event halls if this gap doesn't make sense, if you're not, if there isn't something else that's holding the relationship together. There's some aspects that are similar. There's sharing of 9s and 10s. Right? There's something that's almost done. There's a completion. There's the times are changing. The wheel is turning. This person isn't starting out on a new adventure. They're sort of tiptoeing through the tulips. So maybe this person is waiting for this person to be like, hey, look, I made something. Come and hang out. Like, I made a swing glider. Come and sit with me. But there isn't an explicit thing that says that's going to happen. It's saying, this is what I've been working on. This is what I've been working on. This is why it feels like I've got marbles in my mouth whenever I try to talk to you or text you or anything like that. It's like nothing but small talk, nothing but fights. Again, there's this underlying 4 and 5 of wands energy and the 5 of swords that was like mind games with combat and trying to build something. Right? It's like, how can we start to build something if all of our conversation ends in frustration and confusion? Let's put it that way. And this is sort of why. And it isn't to say like, oh, this will finally be cleared up in the next month and then you can be together. Because that's sort of setting yourself up for more stress. It's like you understand that your luck doesn't suck and that you should be able to start trusting your intuition as you go out into the world more. Choose to trust yourself. Choose to trust that gut energy, that wand's energy. And this person is out here learning to build themselves up to be able to let other people in. To their entire world perspective is changing, but it's kind of a slow rollout, right? Pentacles is a slow rollout, but it's something that's manifesting. And that might end up looking really good for some people. Right? It might be like, ooh, finally what I wanted to hear this whole time. But again, this whole thing of video and music and fugue, which is music. Fugue is like, I'm not really sure. I'd have to look it up. But if you want to understand more about what that is, fugue. All I can think of is like fugue in D minor or whatever it is. That's that like Halloween music that Bach or whatever the fuck it was that did. It's like some kind of intense piece of music, like a classical composition, like something that's composed, right? When they think of fugue, composure, right? I want to have some kind of composure in my video meeting with this person so that we can get to actually having a conversation where we're understanding each other. Let's put it that way. Like gentlemen, start your engine. Or like ladies and gentlemen. Or be gentle. Okay. So I'm going to end that there because I think it sort of gives an idea of like, be more objective, be more rational in your dealings with other people. Don't try to like put all your emotion on them. Like they're supposed to validate me. It has to, like, there really has to be an internal thing, and it can be difficult. And be like, why aren't they talking to me? I really want them to talk to me. Why won't you fucking talk to me? And this indicates that there can be a talking, but that the cycles have to complete. One person has to finish their alignment of their understanding of feminine energy, and the other person has to wake up from this distortion, this imbalance of, everything sucks. That's not fair. They're shifting out of that. Okay. So if you want to get a personal reading, to get more into that, probably Roadblock Moguls would be good. I've got relationship readings. I've got a twin flame reading. You could get a personal yin-yang relationship check-in like this. You can get charms and tiles and whatnot if you want. What else would be good for this? Maybe a life purpose reading, because that gives an overall, it gives the work, which is what you do, and then it gives relationships, which could be love, but it could just be like who you are, what you do, and how you do it. That would be a good one too. Or just like a general inquiry reading that helps too. Gives you all the suits and the energies and all that. So all those readings that you can get are going to be in the description box down below. Just keep scrolling if you don't see it at first. It gets a little bit long there. And there'll be another relationship reading at the end of September for the collective, because we don't need to peek under the covers and see if they're boiling yet. You gotta give people space in their own energy to deal with their side of the pile. You don't need to be all up in there every 2 seconds. So that's why we do it once a month in between the elementals. So that'll be up again September 28th. And in between then, if you need more relationship advice, you might be able to get some out of the weekly elemental readings, or you can purchase a personal reading. And I've got coloring books, I've got dark poetry, I've got art of various subjects. A lot of it's going to be abstract psychedelic like this. There's going to be portraits, animals, mythical creatures, and things of that nature. Basically whatever I feel like making is what I make. Cafe press for your wearables and decorative stuff. Deviant art for like wall prints and things like that. And Etsy for actual stuff that I've made. So you got, except for the doll parts. I didn't make those, but I don't need them. I've got my chapbook packs that I made. I've got plushies and foam lotuses and paintings and watercolors and drawings and a few etchings. I think that's it. I've got all kinds of stuff. Go check it out if you're feeling frisky. You can hang out with me on my social media. Sometimes I'm witty and post things that are funny. That's it. I got my email here. PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo if you'd like to energy exchange, donate, or hit that tip jar, or if you want to order a reading. Everything here through my link tree, linktr.ee/cattheminion. Some of my works that are like fictional characters that other people have created or celebrities, I'm donating portions to charity, so please consider that, because I would love to sell some things and give to charity. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, check out my playlists tab, my discussion tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye!